Legend of Total War here, and today we're doing another Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires campaign review, this time covering Arbaal the Undefeated. So, we've already touched on the Khorne update, so I don't think we need to do that again. But overall, the Khorne update is great, as far as I'm concerned. Now, this campaign here with Arbaal the Undefeated, super powerful faction, but if you're looking for actual challenge in your campaign, you will find it in the Arbaal the Undefeated campaign. While an actual campaign defeat is probably unlikely for any experienced Khorne player, the ramifications of losing a single battle will loom over you constantly throughout this battle. Without this campaign. Because if Arbaal loses a single battle, it's very bad for his campaign. You'll suffer a very significant debuff to him, which nobody wants to have a permanent debuff stuck to them. So you have to make sure that Arbaal's fights always end in his victory. Luckily for Arbaal, the fire at will bug will not really apply to him, since just about none of his units have missile attacks, so you don't have to worry about accidentally having a battle getting bugged out at the moment, so that's great. He doesn't have access to unholy manifestations like the other two demonic Khorne factions do. And I think that's fine, because you're more than compensated by the challenges of Khorne mechanic, which is his unique one. And for an FLC character, I think that this is actually kind of better than some of the DLC mechanics. So it's unlocked as soon as you obtain 5 Khorne favor. You just gain Khorne favor by winning battles. Pretty typical for Khorne, that you just want to go out and fight as much as possible. But the interesting thing about the challenges of Khorne, it sets you out objectives throughout the world and rates them based on how difficult it seems the enemy army is compared to your own. So having a super strong army backing up Arbaal will make it so that it's not heavily incentivized to go and fight weak opponents, basically. So you want to go fight the toughest opponent that you possibly can. So building a really good army, or making Arbaal the Undefeated absolutely unstoppable, is heavily incentivized. You've also got things that you can do to actually give yourself a little bit of a handicap, which I think a lot of players will enjoy, because Khorne is incredibly powerful. So giving yourself a little bit of a handicap, so that the battles are a little bit more difficult, but the rewards are that you'll get more favor of Khorne, so that you can then spend it on actually getting buffs when that is actually what you want. So you activate various buffs through your challenges of Khorne mechanic, and they will keep on applying each turn as long as you maintain Khorne's favor, and they'll just spend it as each turn. So you have to just keep on fighting, keep on seeking out great challenges with Arbaal the Undefeated, which is exactly the way his campaign should play out. And of course, the strongest challenges on there will usually be armies that are considered stronger than your own. He's of course got a teleport mechanic, so you don't have to just go spending 20 turns to march your way down to some random enemy that it assigned you. You could teleport straight to them and find out whether or not you can actually beat it. And when it comes to Khorne, you've certainly got the tools at your disposal to be able to beat them, especially with the skull thrown here helping you out, especially with the wound in the world one. That's always been one of my favorites, being able to summon some bloodletters. Very helpful in battles where you might not have the advantage. But yeah, overall, Arbaal is a really strong melee fighter. He's got a pretty sort of average mount with the Fleshhound of Khorne. I don't think that's the best ever, but it is very quick, and giving him speed on the battlefield definitely has a big advantage. Doesn't have amazing melee defense, but he's able to kill things really quickly, and his armor rating and the fact that he gets unbreakable is really helpful as well. And one of the other things that sort of makes Arbaal a really good killer is the Fury of the Blood God. Just a big explosion to just get rid of huge amounts of infantry very quickly. And since it doesn't use up Winds of Magic and isn't bound to a certain number of uses, as long as you're durable enough with Arbaal, you can really get like 1,000 kills in any battle with it, amongst infantry, that is. With this one here, so that's really good. In terms of his overall skill tree, I'd say that he is the least valuable out of the Khorne legendary lords, because he doesn't really provide any global bonuses whatsoever, and you guys know I love my global bonuses. But that being said, Khorne gets enough global bonuses, so it's okay if one of their legendary lords isn't providing even additional global bonuses. But yeah, being able to go around teleporting will also help you in confederating the other two legendary lords, being Scarbrand and Skulltaker. So if you want to get those global bonuses as early as possible, then just teleporting to an enemy that's nearby them. Who knows? Khorne might even assign you to go and kill Scarbrand or Skulltaker if they're strong enough, if it's worthy of Khorne for you to go and do that. Khorne doesn't care if you go and kill other Khorne people. Khorne just wants killing. And I think that's one of the great things about Khorne as a faction in this game, is that it really feels like they hit the nail on the head correctly with how Khorne should play, is that you don't give a fuck about who you're fighting. The whole point is that you're fighting. It doesn't even matter if you're losing sometimes, except if you're playing as Arbaal. You have to be winning. It just always feels good, because even when you lose, you still get skulls in some cases. So it always just feels really good to play Khorne. You just build up a big frenzy, and Khorne isn't even my favorite aesthetic-wise Chaos God, but I just think they did such a good job in getting the real feel of it. Like, whenever I play Khorne, I just feel like I'm a Khorne warrior. I really get into it. So that's why it's like one of my favorite races to play in this game, despite me not really leaning towards Khorne from an aesthetics point of view. But anyway, so Arbaal the Undefeated focuses way more heavily on mortal units as opposed to demonic, which is good because that puts a nice contrast onto the other two, which focus on like bigger demons and then the smaller demons. So Scarbrand with the Bloodthirsters, and Skulltaker with the Bloodletters. This one here focusing way more on mortal units, so being the Chosen of Khorne, or maybe going with the Skull Crushers, which is what I prefer to go for. But Skull Crushers, just got to keep in mind, being a cavalry unit, they're not the greatest in really big sieges if the enemy's got a large garrison in there, so just got to be careful that you don't bite off more than you can chew sometimes, if it is that's what you want to go through. But overall, Arbaal the Undefeated is a really good legendary lord, and you can have a lot of fun just hopping around the world, going around, killing, playing as Russell Crowe, essentially, go around punching people, basically, and hoping that they don't punch you back too hard, because yeah, as soon as you suffer that one defeat, oof, that sucks. I mean, I personally haven't ever been defeated as Arbaal the Undefeated, but I've seen what the penalty is, and yeah, you really don't want to suffer that. So overall, I think that Arbaal the Undefeated is probably actually the most widely appealing Khorne campaign to play, even though it's not the most powerful. That obviously goes to Skulltaker. I think that most people who want to get into Khorne should start with Arbaal the Undefeated, especially if you are looking to play on legendary difficulty and want to get a challenge out of it. This is a really good campaign for you to get in there, sink your teeth in, go get some real fights in, and really have that looming possibility of an actual battle defeat, like really sort of derailing your campaign over your head for at least a good portion of the campaign, until you've got such a strong doom stack that it doesn't matter who you go up against, you're just never going to lose. Which, that's up to you if you want to even build an army that way. I do tend to do that though. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this one. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Arbaal the Undefeated. I personally think it's a really good legendary lord. I've thoroughly enjoyed playing as him. I would rate him as a legendary lord as a campaign, probably like a 9 out of 10 for Total War Warhammer 3. A really solid campaign within a solid race, and I think it's got a very wide appeal that a lot of people are going to look at this and go, okay, this isn't super overtuned. Because there is that looming risk of a battlefield defeat derailing the campaign. Even if it's not like necessarily a campaign defeat, it can really knock the wind out of your sails when you're no longer Arbaal the Undefeated, you're Arbaal the Defeated. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Arbaal. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.